Hello. Today what I want to do is share a new bush blade that I made. Not quite sure the name yet, but myself and Darren at Lone Forge Blades completed this blade. Now, this is another one of my designs right here, made out of 8 CRV2 steel, black walnut scales, and nickel silver hollow pins. This here is proven to be a sweet bush tool. I'm thinking I'm going to call it the woods tool, but not quite sure yet. I just want to show you what this can do. Now, my survival bush point has been the ultimate survival knife in my opinion. It does everything I want it to do. This here is just a little heavier, so it can chop a tree a lot quicker. Bush point works well. This works better for chopping. Of course, smaller blades are easier for certain tasks. Larger blades can be more cumbersome, but this one here, even though it's a large blade, the blade itself is 9.5 inches, but right there is the balance point. So if I choke up like this, it's balanced very well. I have a big handle here. I can move my hand back. So if I'm chopping, put my lanyard on, and I can reach way back here for chopping. I want to do fine tasks, I can get right up to the cutting edge right here. So before I dirty this all up, I figured I would show you this. I left the hammer marks up top. Darren put 2 fullers, one on each side, and then a hollow grind. I wanted a hollow grind because a hollow grind leaves thinner metal so it sinks into wood deeper. Now, I have had many knives with hollow grind. My survival bush point and so on have hollow grinds. They work great. I have not had a problem with them. Although they're not as strong as a flat grind. So if you have a flat grind that's shaped like this, it's wider and it's not going to sink in wood as deep with the same force as something that's shaped like that. That's what a hollow grind is shaped with. But your flat grind has more steel, so it would be tougher. But in my needs chopping wood, I haven't had to need any tougher. It has worked great hollow grind, so I wanted something that when I swing, it sinks into the wood and rips out chunks. With that being said, let's rip out some chunks. So I've got this propped up between these 2 trees to secure it, but I want to cut this off right around here. So let's give it a try. Wow. So I wish I could zoom in on this, but I'm using my phone to record, so I can't zoom in. So let's cut this off. I should have went up a little higher, but I'm going to move up a little bit. A lot of that force is going into the tree as it's moving down, but it's pretty much chopped off now. I'm going to get out of the way. There we go. So makes short work, and that's close to 3 inches. Good 2 3/4, 2.5, 3 inches. And I took that down pretty quick, or took it in half. Now I have a ridge pole if I wanted to make a shelter. So this here, I've got you about 4 feet away. Hopefully that's good enough. I'm not going to try to chop this in half. I'm just going to chop and see what kind of chunks it takes out of this. This here is a downed tree. It's still green on top, so it was probably down last winter. But just going to chop a little bit into it and see how well it chops in something like this. Now this is fresh softwood, so it's a little easier, but yeah, let's see what it does. Gotta tell you, that's working pretty darn sweet. That has taken down a good 3-inch cut out of this that quick. So, is it a chopper? It does exactly what I wanted it to. Very, very pleased. Very windy out here, and I'm not sure how long before the wind's gonna pick up again. You won't be able to hear me. But this here is meant as another survival type blade. So it has to chop, either to get firewood, to do projects, or make a shelter. Now another very important thing is delimbing. My survival knives have to be able to delimb and chop. Otherwise, to me, it's not as useful. I need it to do that, because if I only have my knife for whatever reason, I can still make shelter. So something like this here, about 3/4 of an inch, you can take that off. Just, if you can delimb a tree quickly, you can make a brush shelter or a brush bed fast. So this here is a good 1.5 inches. And see if I can take that off. No problem. This one, same thing. Now I'm gonna have to get in this way. But as you see, removes limbs quickly. Very important. Those ones there are a good 1.5 inches thick, 2 hits. So having a longer blade allows that you don't have to have pinpoint accuracy. You can just swipe down a tree, because if they're offset a little bit, you can just strip trees quickly to get the brush you need in that situation. This is seasoned, it's dead, and it's seasoned hardwood, birch. Let's cut this off. I'm going to chop it up here. Look how that sinks in. Crazy. Nope, not quite yet, almost. You can't see that, but that's how far I've got it chopped off already. Kind of going a little easier now, just because it's ready to fall over. There you go. Chops just as easy into hardwood as it does soft. All these branches, I want to film from the other side, so they gotta go. These here about 1 inch, like I said, it's got to delimb fast. It does. So what I want to show now, it will chop, it will delimb. Now let's see how it carves. So That is also very important. Take some of these limbs off. Oops. There we go. This is dead seasoned. So for carving, I can carve really well with this. Not right there. So if I wanted to make this into a tip, I could easily do that. So works good for that. Try a couple feather sticks. Which feather sticks is it's a skill that's kind of cool. I don't put a whole lot of time into it. A lot of times I'll just make shavings and use those. If it stays on the stick, I care less, tell you the truth. But it is pretty cool, and it's a fine way to practice your technique and learn skills by trying those fine, long curls. This stick also, you can see, I can take nice. I'm gonna bring it up so you can see. So it's also according on your stick. As you see here, you cut here, it's gonna fall off here because it's a high point. This is not a great stick for it, but you can see how fine you can make curls if you needed to. Look how fine that is. So you can do really fine work as well. This one is not a great stick for feather sticking, but I can make some nice fine curls to start a fire rather easy. And like I said, a lot of times it's according on the stick, most times it is. And your skill with a knife. Being able to find that spot where you can take just nice fine curving or curls is the key. Because the thinner and the smaller your curls, the easier to light. Now, can I cut notches? Indeed. What I love about the spear point design, first off, take this off. But now I can take this and I can carve a spoon bowl if I needed to, and so on. Now I am being very careful. I'm not going to push that towards me, but trying to film, I just want to show that you can really get in there and start making yourself a divot, carve a spoon or whatever. So a bushcraft knife has to do multi tasks. And this one here, even though it's a 9.5 inch blade, it does everything that I want it to do. That's a good 1/4 of an inch deep already. So the reason why I made this is just to have as a companion with my bush point. or a smaller knife. So this one here is my large tool knife option. It does everything I need it to be. It's a one tool option. I can carve, I can chop, I can do everything I need to with this. There's also a pretty cool way of skinning with something like this. And you can put the lanyard, you can tighten it up a little bit if you like, put the lanyard through here, and then you got your blade and you can just skin like this as well. With the fullers here, gives me a nice place to grip for skinning. So there's just multi use with a blade like this. Now this was for personal use, and it's a one of a kind. You know, I'm not sure if Darren would make this exact one. Same copy, we could talk about that. But he can certainly make you a nice bush knife that you can use as well. So this one here, I had fun in the forge, and also watching Darren work with the grinds and the fullers was awesome as always. Take care, thanks for watching, all the best.